It started in the rain, streetlights bleeding gold into puddles, my kid counting sidewalk cracks like it was homework, and my neck prickling the way it does when trouble decides you look interesting. My name is Lena Hart, and I used to keep important people alive. But that night, I was just a mom in a thrift store jacket, trying to grab milk before the bodega locked up. Then I saw three men slide out of an alley in a formation I knew too well, spacing clean heads low, one elbow tight to hide a blade, and a guy in a charcoal suit unlocking his car without looking up. I tucked my daughter Ava behind a gray Civic, stay, and stepped into the rain like I'd never quit the job, one breath to judge distance, one word to snap a head around. Sir, behind you. Then wrist tendon, the knife spat steel against curb, and my elbow bit his solar plexus. Number two grabbed for his waistband and flinched when a rock cracked his temple. Yeah, that happened. Ava ignores my orders when it counts. Number three tried to run my kick, took his knee. The suited man pinned the first guy to his hood like he remembered bar rules. Sirens curled around the block and under the ambulance light. He finally looked at me, really looked, and said my name like a key he wasn't supposed to still have. Lena, hello? Cole, I answered. And the world I'd welded shut came apart at the seams. Cole Mercer Tech, billionaire. Former client. Former everything. The man whose sister once handed me 7 figures and a message. Disappear. He glanced at Ava. His face did the quiet math a parent recognizes, and my ribs cinched around my heart. Is she? Not here, I cut in. I wrote my address on a battered class flyer and said tomorrow, 10 a.m. alone. He came on time, no entourage jeans like he was auditioning for Ordinary Man, and he stood in my small apartment looking at bedtime drawings and chipped mugs like artifacts. Where's Ava with Mrs. Delgado? I said this is the grown-up part. He asked if she was his. I said yes, and watched the word knock the air from him. Why didn't you tell me I did? Your sister Breyer intercepted every message and sent your security chief to deliver the payoff. You changed numbers and access. It was a clean eviction. He swore he searched, said I was built to disappear, and he should know. He hired me for that. And I wanted to laugh and cry and swing. You believed her, not me. That's the part that still burns. He didn't argue, just took the hit and said he didn't deserve forgiveness. But he'd ask anyway. He wanted to know his daughter to fix what he broke if fixing was possible. So we set terms the way you do when you've been burned to the bone, Ava first. Slow my rules, no buying his way through. Show up when you say, talk to me first. He agreed, and then he proved it. He showed up at the community center before Ava's karate demo, dripping from the drizzle, grinning like he'd trained for this. You came, she said. You said I shouldn't break boards unsupervised, he told her. And when her heel snapped that pine clean, he went absolutely still, memorizing her, like a miracle. We ate ice cream, and he asked careful questions as if building a blueprint. Do you like chess? Do you have other kids? No, and yes to bedtime. He looked at me for permission every time he offered something. A lab tour, a Saturday, a science kit, and every time I said maybe instead of no, it felt like a stitch tying shut. A wound I'd learned to live with, open. A week later, we did the aquarium, and he somehow arranged a behind-the-scenes tour without flexing. Ava pressed her palms to the glass of the turtle rehab tank and said, So you protect them when they can't protect themselves, and the biologist smiled, and Cole looked at me, not the turtle. Your mom's good at that, he murmured, and didn't reach for my hand. Just let the truth hang like a bridge we might actually cross, then. He asked the thing I'd been dodging. The Mercer Foundation. Gala is in 3 weeks. I want to acknowledge Ava publicly and legally, no tabloid circus, just the truth on my terms. And I said, if we do this, it's our narrative, not yours or the board's. She doesn't wear anything itchy, I don't get paraded, and if any of it hurts her, I rip the cord and walk. Deal, he said. No flinch. No breath at his place for a not a fitting. I found a small room stocked for a 6-year-old. Books about space, watercolor, paints. A quilt like kindness. For visits, he said, if that's okay. And a guest room for me labeled emergency, stocked with the tea. I drink and the author I love. Money buys things, not attention. The attention was his, the gala rolled around, and he gave Ava a silver bracelet with a tiny shield charm. Because you come from protectors, your mom has been your shield, and now I get to be one too. And on stage, he did the one thing men like him aren't trained for. He told the truth without polish. Through a tangle of bad choices and interference, I lost someone I loved and didn't know. She was carrying our child. I've been trying to fix that. This is my daughter Ava. And the room did that ripple of shock into applause, into warmth. His mother, Margaret, glided up, first knelt to Ava's height, and said hello. Darling, seems I'm your grandmother. And when Ava answered, I've never been one before, so we can learn together. Margaret actually laughed. Not a society trill, a real one. And I breathed again. Then Briar appeared in satin and steel eyes like a cold scan. How unexpected, she said. We should discuss this privately, Ethan. She still calls him his old name when she needs to feel taller. He squared his shoulders. There's nothing to discuss, and when she started to say without verification, he said, not tonight. And I took Ava to the dessert table because smart women choose their battlegrounds, he returned, wearing the smile he uses when he's just boxed someone into an elegant corner. She's been reminded of certain realities, he said. I believed him. I sent him rarely choose truth over blood. That night he did. For a while life got ordinary, in the best way. Cole burned Sunday pancakes and learned to braid hair the night before picture day. He moved meetings for school breakfast. Told the press as little as possible and made it stick. Bedtime became a 2-story ritual, mine and his. And I watched from the doorway while he invented a dragon who liked homework and a princess who saved princes for fun. And every time he looked up to see if I was amused, I was against my better judgment. Then a Tuesday night tried to knock us off the beam, Mrs. Delgado called while I was teaching a woman at your door, calling herself Ava's aunt. Says she needs to take the child to meet her real father. Ava used your safety plan. She's with me. I ran through rain again and found Cole in the lobby facing Briar. Not doing this, he told her. You're panicking, she snapped. You'll destroy the company. She turned to me with that pitying smile that makes you want to break furniture. You took the money, don't pretend nobility, and I said, I took a buyout because a woman with your last name made sure it was the only option. You wanted me gone because I didn't match your brochure. Congratulations. I left and raised a person. You can't bully. The elevator opened, and Ava barreled out and pressed both hands to my legs like she was grounding electricity. Is she still trying to take me? She asked, and Cole's voice went low and lethal. If you ever approach my daughter without permission, if you try to scare her or chip at her family, I will remove you from the board and from my life. Try me for the first time. Briar looked unsure, smoothed satin, lifted her chin, and walked away like the exit belonged to her. It didn't. Upstairs, Ava climbed into Cole's lap and tucked her head under his chin. He held on like she was glass and steel. At the same time, after she slept, we stood in the quiet hum of a choice you can't unmake. I'm sorry, he said. I should have seen her coming. This isn't on you, I told him. She chose her move, we chose ours, he said. He meant everything he'd said on stage. He didn't use the word love, not then, but it sat between us, stubborn and patient, and I decided to stop living like my own life was a hallway. I needed permission to walk. Then we try slow together, no more. Intermediaries, talk to me first. I talk to you first. We mess up and fix it out loud. Deal, he said, and kissed my cheek like I was skittish and sacred. At once, the weeks after felt like building muscle after an injury, careful, wincing, breathing through. Then one day, you're lifting what you couldn't lift before his mother started bringing lemon bars and terrifyingly accurate questions. The lawyer drew up papers that said out loud what the world needed to hear. Breyer sent a typed apology and a hand-drawn turtle for Ava. I'm not saying forgiveness showed up, I'm saying air got in, which is sometimes enough. People want a bow right there. The smiling photo where nobody's eyes hide anything but real life is me. Still checking the deadbolt, still carrying a blade in my bag, still watching the edges of rooms. Real life is Cole canceling a flight because a third-grade showcase mattered more, and then facing a board that thinks being human is a liability. Real life is Ava asking if her library card can say Hart Mercer, because she wants both halves of the truth. Real life is me at the sink, listening to cardboard, become a spaceship on my kitchen floor, and realizing the sound in my chest is happiness and fear at the same volume. And because we're honest, here's the mess we haven't solved. Wealth has gravity, people orbit it, some to warm themselves, some to steal fire. When Cole announced scholarships at a public school, a rumor bloomed that I'd engineered it to launder my past. Comments lit up. Gold digger, social climber, bodyguard, turned bride. You know what I mean. The stories folks tell to protect their own comfort. The next morning, Ava asked if her friend Jonah could join the lab tour, because he likes gears more than recess. And maybe we like the same things, because our dads left. But mine came back, and I thought, let them talk, we'll be over here making something. So no, we didn't land in a fairy tale. We built a bridge and we're walking it plank by plank over a river that has teeth. Our win doesn't look like fireworks, it looks like consistency. A kid sleeping through the night, a man choosing truth over blood, a woman choosing to lay down half the weight. And that tiny shield charm flashing in kitchen light, while someone explains why Neptune is underrated. If this hit a nerve, talk to me in the comments. Was Breyer protecting family or power? And is there really a difference? Have you seen someone judged by zip code, job title, rumor, that stuck like gum on a shoe? Tell me what feels right or wrong to you. Share the story you carry. And if you want more messy, hopeful chapters like this, hit subscribe. Tell me where you're watching from. I'll be back next week, rain or shine.